Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Newbies panel. I'm your moderator, Jen Tidwell, and I'm thrilled to be back for my second Earp CurseCon. That's right, returning. I'm so psyched to be here. We only have a little bit of time, so let's dive right in. Please welcome our wild child who covered Wildwood at the Way Hot Wedding, Martina Ortiz Luis. And
hey.
Also, I'm so excited to meet our favorite foe for freedom, Savannah Basley.
Hey.
How are you both?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I heard you had a good time with my gal Andresa earlier today.
I did.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, isn't she amazing? She's awesome.
She's funny.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. How have you been enjoying your lusty month of May so far, Martina?
Me. Well, we're still pretty much in lockdown here in Toronto, so haven't really been going out and doing much, but I've been keeping busy, and the weather's been getting better, so plus hockey.
How about you, Savannah? Anything of interest happening for you of recent dates or?
Ooh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm kidding. I'm teasing Martina. Yes. Yeah, I'm in Toronto too, so we are still on lockdown. So not a whole lot. I just got back actually from BC. I was filming.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, I was filming in BC. I filmed an episode of 2 Sentence Horror Stories, so that was really great. I'm really excited for you guys to see that. Yes.
Nice.
So that was my first time out in BC, so that was really great.
Well, we were very close to each other then, because I'm just on the other side in Seattle.
So yes, right
so
there. We're so close. Yes. Exactly.
All right. Okay, so we know why we're here. We're here to talk Winona Earp, so let's dive into it. Martina, I'm coming to you first.
Okay.
There is a debate about whether it was actually Cleo's Clanton magic that brought Billy back, because Cleo was clearly mostly just trying to distract Rachel. Do you think it's possible that Rachel actually has some kind of powers she hasn't tapped into yet because of her legendary ancestor, the Valdez?
Well, I definitely think that she has some powers that she hasn't tapped into yet. And I'd love to see that be explored if we could somehow do that. But I think it was Cleo's magic that brought back Billy, and obviously she also was doing it to distract Rachel, but yeah, I think Cleo's magic did help, but obviously it comes with a price, and like she does say that they're bound forever now, so I'm sure there's some sus things going on with that for sure.
So when we get to the next chapter and whatever form that takes, hopefully we'll be able to figure out just what, as you say, sus action was Cleo was trying to pull off there. What do you think that action might have been, Savannah?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My what was I trying to do, or what was I was just like taking you guys in? What do you think
Cleo was trying to do, other than, do you think she was aware of what she was doing just distracting?
She was completely just zoned in on trying to, obviously I think even turning Reaper back and turning Billy back, I think that even that was kind of a calculated move on her part. Mm-hmm. Obviously it was going to come with benefits, but I think even, she was like, oh, I can't turn I get to bring him back and use him, but at the same time, he gets to come back. So that's a plus. Yeah. But I think, I think her main motive in that moment was to, one, bring Billy back to finish out her plan, and two, to distract Martina. Yes. Miss
me.
Yes. Oh my God,
Rachel.
What is your character's name? Rachel, thank you.
Rachel.
I was like, what?
Here for
Sorry,
you.
So many. I know, I'm trying to remember so many names. But yeah, for Rachel's character. But I think maybe Rachel's character could actually use Peacemaker.
Ooh. That's an interesting supposition. Nice.
Because you're technically your background's like a warrior kind of, right? You've got warrior blood, right? So maybe you're also, it's
supposedly.
like King Arthur with like the sword. Maybe you're also like worthy enough to use Peacemaker.
Dang.
That is an
That's
excellent point. And something, I mean, there is
Throwing him
something
at
to
the
be
wall.
said
See if
for
it sticks.
elements of, and actually there's a Earper, Professor Lauren, who has spoken to the Arthurian legend and how it's sort of, elements of it line up to storytelling within the Earp storyline. And you know what? That's a very good point, Savannah. That's very good. I hadn't thought about that, and I'm excited to dig into that with Professor Lauren later.
Ooh.
So Savannah, do you think that Cleo really hated the Earps themselves, or did she just hate them because they were part of the feud her mom was obsessed with?
The latter. Yeah,
Okay,
I think definitely. I think everything since she was a child has revolved around this, in her mind, this stupid friggin' Earp curse thing that like she just doesn't like. It's everything that just has completely taken over her life and her family's life, that I think by the end of it she was so done with it, and she just, you know, she was done with trying to, like I said in a previous panel, that I think a lot of what motivated Cleo was the fact that she just really wanted her mom's love and she never got that. You know, it's a lot of the things that, you know, motivated her was like she just wanted that love and she couldn't get it, and it was made her so angry that she couldn't get that. So I think the fact that this curse took up the majority, like literally all of her mother's attention, and that's literally all she ever talked about was this curse, that I think by the end of it she was like, just the hell with it, I'm so done with that. Like I don't hate the Earps, I just hate that they are Earps.
I totally, no, I picking up what you're putting down 100%.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the concept of them and their existence now that's just
just, it just rattles her to her core.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I feel that.
Yeah. Like if she like if like Winona and Waverly literally didn't have the last name Earp, she probably wouldn't even care. She'd be like, I kind of like her, she's kind of a badass. But the fact that she has that Earp last name is literally just all that made her like hate her.
Like that was it.
That's it.
Yeah. Straw, camel, back, broken.
Exactly. Yeah. Period. With a T at the end.
Yes. So Martina, back to you now. Now that we know that Winona and Doc are out of town for the foreseeable, which parent, in quotation marks, parent, do you think Rachel can count on to eventually give in when they've decided not to let her do something?
Waverly.
Oh, really? You think so?
I think Waverly. I think I said this in the earlier panel, but I think if Rachel is staying with Nicole and Waverly now, I really think that Nicole would be like the stern, like bad cop mom, and then Waverly would be like the good cop mom. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like Waverly would be the parent who like gives into whatever Rachel's asked for. Also,
really?
Nedley, maybe.
You think because Waverly would be the one to like put her foot down more firmly, she'd also be the one to give in more easily? Or did I misunderstand what you're...
No, I meant like, I think Nicole would be the more stern one, and then Waverly would be like, yeah, I agree with Nicole, but totally just like, like, you know what I mean?
Come see me in the force it out. Yeah.
Yeah, here's $20.
Yeah. Do you think that comes from Waverly's need to be liked and liked by people?
Yeah. I think so, but also I think because I feel like because Nicole and Rachel have spent so much time alone together, that Waverly is probably also just like, I need this kid to like me now, and also if Nicole's gonna be the stern one, I may as well be the nice one. You know? I think
just slide right into that role. Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
That totally makes sense. So speaking of family and people that you're able to have deep talks with, Savannah, so this is I called Doc sort of because he by by your doing, I think by Cleo's doing, Doc became the Earp heir or the Clanton heir for a short period of time. So that kind of makes him family. Why do you think that both Cleo and Holt were able to have those deep talks with Doc and these moments of understandings with Doc, of all people, when for the longest time he was considered their family's greatest enemy?
I think because Doc's character is such an empathetic person. I think that and also because he was there when it happened, technically he would have been there when it happened, that he would understand that at the time, I don't think he probably would have expected this curse to kind of follow them from this moment in time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he expected this shootout to cause all of this trouble later on, and like so much grief and pain to like people. And I think that him as a person, he's affected so much by his actions, as like Doc's, he's really affected by his actions and what he puts out into the world. So I think at that point in season 4, for him, it was a really big thing for him to mend those fences, if that makes sense.
And that's a great point. You're absolutely right. Doc was there. He's the only one that was there. So he really does bring to the table this level of experience that literally no other character, including the current living Clantons, can bring.
Exactly. We weren't even, and I think that's also, I think that also like pulls into it in like a social context, and even whatever, like we weren't even there yet we're still paying for the consequences of it years later.
Yeah, exactly. And it's how unfair is that?
Exactly. And I think he does understand that, and he sees the pain that this is technically he caused, not intentionally, but when he comes after my mother's like decaying in the chair, and I'm bawling my eyes out into this broken down truck in my yard, he's expecting me to put up a fight, and there I am, like so vulnerable. And I think for him it was a moment where he was like, oh shit, what did I do?
All of the chickens came home to roost in that moment, perhaps.
I really do think so. And even before that moment, obviously with Holt, he had those moments. He would have had that recognition with Holt as well. But I think definitely that moment where it really was seeing his enemy in such a vulnerable state.
Yeah. And also, I think it's really interesting that when Holt became the momentary Clanton heir, he was filled with rage and anger. Of course, who wouldn't be? He just found his mother murdered. But he kind of took that mantle on almost immediately, where with Cleo, it was really sort of, there's just such a dynamic difference between how Holt and Doc reacted to becoming the Clanton heir to how Cleo became the Clanton heir. It's just really interesting that even though she was following the directive of the curse, she was still able to hold on to her own identity and handle it in her own way, and also try to get out of it as well, and engineered a way to get out of it.
Honestly, I think it scared her. I think what she thought she wanted all of this power and all of this control. And like she said, ma'am didn't tell me that they were going to live in my head. And she couldn't handle that. That's not what she wanted. That's not what she thought it was going to be. Ma'am put all of these ideas into her head that she was going to be powerful and all of these things. And she just thought that she was going to be able to get her way finally. But once she became heir, and she was like, oh shit, this is what I have to do. I don't want this at all. And so I think it really did. It kind of scared her. And that's why she just really wanted to get rid of it as soon as she could. Because she was so out of control. It was something that she didn't like. She's usually can control a situation, and the fact that she felt so out of control, I think that's why she pushed it away.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost feels like Cleo sort of reveled in putting out this front of being this sort of chaotic person when she actually was dealing with chaos, she didn't want it. She wanted none of it.
No. And I think
Yeah.
Cleo was also quite jealous of like Rachel and Waverly and Nicole and all of them, this beautiful family that they had. I think I think that was also like a big thing, was also just seeing these people who were, no matter like what they did to each other, well, not like, you know what I mean, like no matter how much they fought and stuff, it really was that family, not unconditional love, but understanding that she didn't get from home. And I think that also kind of made her a little bit sad and angry. And then when she found out that I can get rid of this, she was like, maybe I could possibly have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, shed it all and start fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, Martina, you're back in the hot seat. I haven't forgotten about you, my dear. So between Rachel's reaction to Casey and the demon she and Winona found dying in the woods, Rachel has a lot of compassion for demons, even after spending a year plus keeping Nicole keeping them away and also being stuck in that zombie filled bunker for however long. Where do you think those feelings of compassion came from? Is it a specific experience she might have had, or is it just being young and open and empathetic?
Well, I definitely think that part of it is just being young and like being innocent, and then part of it, I think, is also just her being accepted into this Earp family and seeing how that turned out well for her, and she found these people that she really like loves and looks up to. But also, I think within that 18 months that her and Nicole were together, I think they talked about this in one of the episodes, but I think after the Earp curse went away, the Ghost River Triangle just kind of became like a magnet for supernatural creatures who just found sanctuary in that town and in the Ghost River Triangle. And so I think that for Rachel, it's just like the last year and a bit, it's just been like, these are her neighbors, like these are just people. She's like, oh yeah, that's the stoner dude, and that's the dude that plays in the band that I really like, and this guy gives me coffee every morning, and like, you know, like I think for her, she's just become super accepting of all the monsters that live in her neighborhood because those are just her neighbors.
Super Gen Z.
Yeah, super Gen Z, but awesome. Awesome. So do you think that, as you say, the time that she spent with Nicole on the homestead, defending the homestead from what turned out to be Randy Demon, that sounds not right. Anyway,
you Randy Demon.
Nedley Demon. But you know, defending the homestead from any number of potential threats, still in that time, do you think Nicole and she discussed the difference between a problematic demon and a demon that's just trying to make a living and live, you know, and live their lives?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there was definitely a difference between, oh, this troll thing literally shows up in our backyard every day and tries to like kill us, versus, oh, that guy with the horns and the tail, he's playing in a Halsey cover band. Like, you know, like I think there was definitely like a discussion of the difference, and there's definitely the people that she just saw as people and people that were just living in her town, whereas the Nedley Demon was, well, they thought was actively trying to kill them.
Yeah. If only they'd known at the time. Curses. So Savannah, your character got in her car and got out of town. Where do you think Cleo went? And what do you think she's doing now that she's free of the curse and her family burdens?
She is either on a beach or in a boardroom, like telling people what to do.
Yeah.
Period.
Or
like
either
on the beach or she's either or both. Like she's gonna take like a really nice vacation and then she's going to go start a company or just like be like, I'm the CEO now.
Yeah, just
Look at
show
me.
up, just walk in.
I'm the
Just
CEO
like-
now. Yeah, legit. Like
She's like, look
just-
at my resume says magistrate of this super mysterious town, and
Yeah.
that's all that's on my resume. Please take me.
That's all you need. That's all you need to know. You don't need
That's all
to
you need.
know anything else. I dealt with Ghost River Triangle, and everyone would be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let her in." Yeah. But yeah, I think she's either living it up on a beach, just like being a queen. I don't know where she gets the money from, but she's gonna get it somehow, and she's just gonna be either that or bossing people around as a CEO, like boss lady.
Hey, you know what?
Or on the surreal estate.
Oh,
Exactly.
Plug.
Selling estate, possibly. Sci-fi. What? I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Both the Surreal Estate and Cleo, the Surf Stuff CEO, are a series I would definitely tune in for. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Martina, this is something that I've been wanting to ask you for a while.
Okay.
How much do you think Rachel knew about what her mom was involved in? Do you think, also kind of an addendum to that, do you think she walked to BBD headquarters by herself to find her mom? Or did she live on site in a bungalow? Or was it bring your kid to work day when everything went to heck?
I definitely think that she knew that her mom worked with BBD. I don't think she knew the extent of what they were doing. But also, like she says in 401, like her mom left her. Like she has a rough relationship with her mom. And she thinks that her mom just left her. So I have a feeling that she wanted to find out what happened to her and just like took a trip down to that zombie infested lab and tried to investigate. And I think that's where she came into contact with dolls and then got caught up on what happened. And yeah.
She just put her backpack on, Greg hopped onto her Huffy bike and just took off.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see her like running away.
Totally.
Like, like dad doesn't know where she is, and like she puts on her Doc Martens and like her cool like canvas like cargo backpack and like goes up.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah. Like Dora the Explorer, just
Literally.
I'm off.
Literally.
That's
Her parents never knew where she was either.
yeah, that's true. Who were Dora's parents?
That's
and where
so
were they?
true.
Like that was where are her
Yeah, where
parents?
were-
Like why is she all over this jungle?
Yeah. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what everyone thinks about Rachel. Who is this kid? Where is this kid's parent?
Who is this kid?
Who let you out of the
This.
house? Who are you?
Who does this child belong to? Anyone? Hands? Okay.
Yeah.
So Savannah, touching on something you spoke to a little bit earlier, as far as things that kind of ma'am did to her family and to Cleo to, sort of give them ideas about what was going to happen. Something that she also did was she kind of abused her kids, and we were privy to some of that domestic violence that when during that dinner table scene.
Yes.
How difficult is it to get into a headspace to do a scene like that?
It's kind of funny because everyone always asks me like, is there a scene from this that you really enjoyed filming? And that was actually one of my favorite scenes that I really enjoyed filming. Kind of weird. It's for me, those moments are very cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a moment where it doesn't always, like, I'm not always drawing from like, crazy emotional places, but I think everyone has felt there's like at some point or another, I've felt that kind of someone using like their power over you in a way. So just getting to that vulnerability wasn't really like a hard thing. It was just kind of like a moment where I just really had to think about what motivated Cleo. Once again, it's that she really wanted her mom's love, and this woman, even though she was hurting her at the end of the day, she still really just wanted that love. So for me, it was an interesting experience, but also because everyone else in the scene is giving you so much. Like, I mean, no matter like whether the camera was on like me or Holt or Mam, like we were giving like everything, like every single take. It was like, you know, they kept being like, you guys don't have to like do as much, but it was like, no. Like I need to give this person all of me kind of in this moment in order to be able to give it. So like, you know, looking at Holt and seeing him, you know, looking at me as like his little sister and being like, I'm so sorry, like knowing that like he can't do anything about it, and knowing that like he's been through that, and then also them being like, remember that like Billy's screaming outside while he's getting eaten by this reaper, to know that, you know, just all of those things together, if you were to really just think about that for like a second, that is extremely like, that's so intense and such like a traumatizing moment that it was quite easy to get there. And then also just anything that I wanted to cry about that week, I was like, don't cry about it. Just save it.
Save it.
Save it.
Save it for the day.
Then, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, anything that I got frustrated about, because I'm a crier. I can't help it. When I get frustrated, I cry. When I get angry, I cry. Like it just happens. So there was tons of times where like, you know, I was getting like frustrated, or I was like so tired, and I was like, I just want to sleep. And I'd be like, okay, don't cry, just save it. And then they'd be like, okay. And then it's literally like to have someone be like, it's okay for you to cry. I'd be like, it's okay. Okay. And they'd be like, action. And I'd be like, ah.
Oh, the catharsis. Oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yes.
like, now you're ready? Okay. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's also just where it comes from. How do you cry? I just don't cry about things that I want to cry about, and then I just save it.
That's really kind of brilliant, actually. Yeah, just store it in the emotion bank, and then bring it up to play when you need it. That's great.
Yeah, I used to always say this will come in handy at some point.
Yeah.
When I was younger, you know, whatever it was, I'd be like, if I got bullied or whatever, I'd be like, you know what? This is gonna come in handy someday.
That's
Save
right.
it. This will be useful. That's what I would say. Like I got bullied so hard, and I would just be like, Savannah, you can use this someday. Here I am at the dinner table. I'm thinking about when kids used to call me all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I can cry now.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Well, Savannah, Martina, it has been a joy chatting with you. We have time for one super quick fan question from @DotsCargoPants on Twitter. It's a great name. Great
Love
name.
cargos.
Yes. For both of you, and Martina, we'll go to you first. How would you spend your time in between takes?
Eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Not even
legit,
kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
I look over, mask would be like partially over, and she'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much just teasing Martina.
That's
what
I
I
was gonna say,
did.
Savannah, your time was spent watching Martina eat between takes.
Yeah, teasing her and being like, oh, what else did you get?
But also she's also a caffeine addict. Like, actually, no, but all of us were kind of. So like in between takes, it was just like me, her, and like Mel. Usually, just always coffee. Always
coffee, and
At the
I
end of the
always
day,
have
you're just
vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always have vanilla coffee because I'm addicted to vanilla coffee creamer. So I like
I can
bring it
relate.
onto sets with me. I like either bring the thing of like on Winona. I just got to the point where I just bring the thing on like the whole case.
like this big.
Well, don't
Like,
let me,
actually.
don't let me keep you from the giant vat of vanilla coffee creamer. I know it's probably just off camera. I'm gonna let you loose so you can get back to enjoying your coffee and your coffee creamer and the rest of your day. Thank you again, Savannah and Martina, so much. This has been a blast, and everybody else, stay tuned for more to come from Earp CurseCon.
Thank you.
Bye.